Hi, welcome back to our music video theory and rhythm practice video. In this video number 3, let's do some quick review. Now, we have divisi, and that means that the music will be divided, and you'll see notes stacked on top of each other. And the music will indicate it by this abbreviation here, DIV. And then it'll also tell you you're going back to unison. That means when everybody plays the same notes. So a divided part, or otherwise known as divisi, means that some of the section plays the top line and some of the section reads the bottom. So you got to be very careful when you're reading these parts. Eighth notes. We have quarter notes here above in this example, and eighth notes are half of a quarter note. And so it's like we're doubling the eighth note. If I were to sing this, ta, 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 those would be the 4 quarter notes. And then if I doubled them, I'm going to double them evenly. Ta, 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 ta. And that would be eighth notes in one measure. Let's go on. Last time we talked about slurs. This is a curved line that connects 2 or more notes of different pitches. So you're going to tongue the first note, and you're going to use your air and your buttons to play the next note. So you're not going to tongue the notes after the first note. You're just going to use your buttons. Or you'll lightly tongue it if you're a trombone player. Pickup note. There is a note before the first full measure. And so remember, we got to think about, well, is that a full measure? No, it's not. And then if it's only 1 quarter note, that means we're missing the first 3 beats. Beats 1, 2, and 3. So this would tell us that we come in on beat 4. If there were 2 quarter notes here, then you would have beats 4 and 3, and would be missing beats 1 and 2. So then you would come in on beat 3. So this can change. You can see as many as 3 beats in 4/4 time, or 1 beat like we see here in this example. Flat. That's going to lower the note by half a step. So we go from B natural to a B flat, and it lowers it a half step. And these are called accidentals. Either a flat, sharp, or a natural sign. And remember, key signatures, we've been over that in the last 2 videos, and that means that we play certain notes, flat or sharp, all the way through that piece of music. And in this example, it shows 1 flat, and so that flat is on the B line in treble clef, and so that means play all the B's as B flat. Last time we also talked about dotted half notes. A dot makes a note longer. It adds half the value of the note to itself. And you can take a look at this example to determine how that works. So it's like that dot is adding a quarter note to our half note. And so we get 3 beats. And remember, time signatures can be different. They can be 2/4, 4/4, or 3/4. And this means that we got 3 counts in each measure, and quarter note gets the count, gets 1 count. Dynamics tell us how loud or soft to play. Remember, we know what forte and piano mean. Forte is loud, piano is soft. Natural. This is an accidental, and it's called a natural sign. And it cancels out flats or sharps in our key signature. And it remains in effect for that measure only. Then when you go on to read the next measure, you're just remembering what notes are flat or sharp indicated by the key signature. Accents means that we attack the note louder, but we're only going to play 3/4 of the note. Not a full 1 count, but 3/4 of a count if it was a quarter note. Or if it was a half note, we would play 3/4 of that half note. So we're making it a little bit shorter, but we're also making it louder. First and second endings, play the first ending. Then we repeat the music. And we skip the first ending and play the second ending. One measure repeat means that we're going to repeat just that one measure that came before it. So, like if there was 4 quarter notes written right here in an imaginary measure, dot, 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 dot. We're playing the same thing, and then we keep going. This is in our book, and I think it's number, well, I don't remember, but it's Frere Jacques. So if you want to look in your book number 1 and go to Frere Jacques, there's an example of when the book introduces that concept. Now, here's some things that we're going to talk about that are new in this video. Long rests. This rest will show up, and it'll be in a one measure, and it have this solid line and a number above it. And this rest tells us how many measures we're going to be silent for. So these are whole measures, and in this instance, we're talking about 2 measures in 4/4 time. So then we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and then we play the next measure that came after that. If this was a different number, like 5, then we'd be resting for 5 measures. Or if it was 8, we'd be resting for 8 measures. And a good way to practice while you're playing is to always bring your instrument up in that last measure of silence before the next measure comes, so you're ready to play. So if I were to count this, so we played something, 1, 2, 3, 4, my instrument's up, 2, 3, and then I keep playing. So you always bring your instrument back up before the end of that long rest so that you're ready to play what's coming. Sharp. So we talked about flats. We talked about natural signs. Now the book shows us a sharp sign. And a sharp raises the pitch of one note by half a step. So in this example, we see F. And then we put a sharp in front of that F, and it becomes F sharp. So it's making it sound a little bit higher. And you can have sharps in your key signature. We talked about key signatures in the last 2 videos. This key signature means that you play all those Fs as F sharps. And so whether it's the F on this top line, the 5th line on the staff, or that F in that space, like this F over here, you playing all the Fs, no matter they're high or low, all of them are sharp. Now let's talk about this marking right here. You'll see in your music, da capo al fine, or in your music you'll see it as DC al fine. That means go back to the beginning and play until you see where it's marked fine above the measure they want. That means they want you to stop right there, and that's the end. This is Italian. Fine in Italian means end. Da capo means the cap or the top. And so this means go back to the beginning and then play until it's marked by the ending word. Now, let's talk about these single 8th notes again. Single 8th notes show up like this. They are by themselves. It's a note head, a stem, and a flag. They'll look like that, or they'll look like this. Sometimes they might not be connected like that. It just depends on the music and the publisher and, all that stuff. A single 8th note is half as long as a quarter note. It's worth half a count. And then you'll have dotted quarter notes. So this is when we start learning about dotted quarter note rhythms, followed by a single 8th note. A dot after a note adds half the value of that note. So if we have a quarter note, that's worth 1 beat. A dot means we're adding half of that beat, so that would be a half of 1. So then we taking 1 plus half equals 1.5, which would be that dotted quarter note. And this example explains that right there, the musical math right there. dynamics tell us how loud or soft to play, and they can be indicated by forte or piano, but there's also markings that will show up like this, like the alligator mouth going this way or an alligator mouth going the other way, and that symbol will show up underneath the measure, and it means when it goes this way to our right, it opens up to our right, means we're gradually going to play louder. It's a crescendo. If the opening is to our left and it tapers off down like this and connects, that's a decrescendo. The composer wants us to gradually play softer. Tempo. Now, there's different markings for tempo, and they're usually marked in Italian. But in this part of the book, they're talking about how the tempo can change suddenly. And we call this a ritardando, or it'll be abbreviated as such right here. A ritardando is an Italian word that means gradually get slower. So this is gradually slow the tempo. And you'll see this in music in the book after this yellow box explains what it is. Here's another type of tempo. This will be usually what you see at the beginning of a piece. It means that largo is telling us that the piece is slow. Retardando is usually used for just one part of the piece or a couple measures, but this kind of tempo marking is indicating that a whole section or the whole piece of music is going to be largo, or its translation to English would be slow. And here's a little bit of review here. Tie, we see that curved line connecting the same note, and that means that we're going to add those notes together and play them as one longer note, or as the book says, tied notes are played as one unbroken note. So the two whole notes tied together, you're adding 4 beats to 4 beats, so you would hold that out for 8 beats. Slur is a curved line that connects 2 or more notes that are different, and we're just using our air and our buttons to change to that next note, but we are tonguing that first note. We use our tongue to, and we slur down to the next note. And that's all I've got for you in this video. Let's get to practicing our rhythm. Hey guys, welcome back to another rhythm practice play along. I'm going to set the metronome to 72 beats a minute on this one, a little bit slower. We got a little bit more challenging rhythms. There'll be 8th notes, there'll be quarter notes with 8th notes, and there'll be offbeat syncopation kind of feel. So remember, always look ahead in your music to the next measure. And we're going to do this on one note, just a concert B flat. So get ready to play, sit up tall, both feet flat on the ground, take a big breath, and I am going to start it just in a minute. One, two, three. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 4 and 1, 3, 4, hold and 3 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 3, 1, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 4 and 1 and 1 and 4 and 2 and 3, 4. And that was it. So this was rhythm practice number 3, a little bit more challenging. You can always rewind it and work on it again. And I hope you're staying safe and healthy and you keep on practicing. And I'll see you in the next video series. All right. Happy practicing.